So we kind of talked about, the first segment was sort of about getting through Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
And I think also there's just as much of a challenge getting through the Christmas holiday, but then starting your year.
Right. So the New Year's resolution thing, that year after year, I think people are seeing more and more articles and studies showing that when you make a resolution, it usually doesn't work. As a yoga teacher, I know that every single year, the first 2 weeks? Yeah, 2 weeks of January classes are packed.
Yep.
And it's just kind of something that everybody knows about, and I've worked in a lot of gyms too, and that's the time when the gym is like unmanageable because it's so busy. And what is normally happening is people have set these resolutions, but they're overdoing it immediately. Yeah. So they say they sign up for gym membership, yoga pass, whatever. They're trying to go every single day, right off the bat.
Is that sustainable? Probably not.
That's not sustainable. There are very, very few people that go to the gym 7 days a week. Usually, those people are bodybuilders or something else, and they're doing something very, very different, or they have an eating disorder. You know, spend enough time in a gym, and you find these people that are there,
and they're not just the women.
No,
pointing it out,
but
men
I used to be one of those people that had to go every day because I've built my worth around it. But people they put themselves in these unreasonable, unsustainable situations where they're like, I'm going to go to yoga every single day, or I'm going to go work out every single day, and they last about 2 weeks because they get injured, they get burnt out, it's not sustainable, and then they either blame it on themselves, or they blame it on yoga, or they blame it on the gym, or they find something to blame it on when it just really wasn't rational or sustainable in the first place.
It's like with, you know, the discussion about diets and all these other things. For something to truly fit in and work and all of that, it has to be a lifestyle change,
and that's really, really, really hard.
I mean, so for you to sustain this going to the gym every day thing, you needed to have already started doing that. So back in June, if you made that decision, that, I think is the resolution challenge. What if you made this resolution in June?
Right.
I understand that everybody wants a clean slate.
Right.
Let's start the year off right. I get it.
Right.
But, I mean, you know, it's nice to have like an official starting point. But my challenge to people is, what if you tried to make this change in the middle of the year?
Yeah.
When less people are at the gym, maybe.
A lot less.
You know, or at the yoga studio.
Yeah.
And instead of like saying, I'm going to do something every single day, like I'm going to do it maybe once a week, twice a week, see if you can add more.
Right. Because goals are not the problem.
No.
It's not a bad thing to make goals. These unreasonable, unsustainable resolutions, I think, are the problem, because you're not setting yourself up for success.
No.
You have to set yourself up for something that you are going to do. If you know that you hate, for whatever reason you hate going to yoga, and your resolution is to force yourself to go every single day, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
It's not even, it doesn't even make sense to try to do that.
And I think that, I don't mean to plug my studio. I'm going to a little bit. So
we're in the studio.
I mean, right, it is. Yeah. So, you know, personally for me, when I think about what I disliked about yoga, that's why I created the studio as I did. For people who maybe don't like a big class, for people who feel bad about, so if you feel bad about going to a gym or a yoga studio, really think about the reasons why, and see if there's another place that'll fit you, because I know there are gyms that are smaller. I know there are gyms that aren't like Gold's Gym that have all the meatheads, and the, you know, you've got yoga studios that are smaller, like Yoga Happiness. So it doesn't mean that the whole industry is bad, or that you're not doing it right.
Right. I think that's
find a place that suits you, because you are creating a relationship. I want a yoga teacher that makes me feel good about myself.
Right.
You know, he or she may have an off day. She may say stupid things in class. If you've been to my classes, I say stupid shit all the time.
I thrive on that.
But I think that, I mean, the thing is that it's just like, for example, when, like in school, back in college, like I had one math teacher, God love her, I just didn't understand. I didn't understand her accent, and the way that, like, her metaphors, I didn't understand. Same class, same math, different teacher, epiphanies, I got it. You know, so truly seek out a different place that fits you, where you feel like you fit in.
And that can take a little bit of trial and error sometimes, because we all, I think, do this. It's probably just human nature. Have a really all or nothing mentality where they try one gym, one studio, and if it's not the perfect experience, it's the gym's fault, or it's the studio's fault, or it's somehow their body's fault for not looking like everyone else, which, I mean, I even just mentioned that too, seeing, you know, the like skinny white girl yoga that we always talk about. It's like realizing how absurd that sounds, because like I kind of probably am one, but I still can get on Instagram and see these different women and feel like I'm somehow doing something wrong. So it's really normal and common to feel that way, but that's where I think it takes maybe, which, I mean, none of us want to have to like travel from gym to gym or yoga studio to yoga studio, but just kind of realizing that the first try isn't necessarily always going to be the thing that sticks.
And I would recommend, as a serial gym membership breaker, I would recommend take advantage of their free weeks.
Yeah.
See if you can get a couple. See if you've got a friend who already has a membership and go with them.
Right.
So just like they say, don't make important decisions during moments of trauma or things like that.
Yeah.
I consider the holidays very traumatic.
I think they are,
you know, because I feel bad, I ate too much, all this stuff. So I'm making this terrible decision to spend, you know, however many dollars a month for this membership where you're locked in for a year, and then you have to lie about the reason why you have to break the membership.
Right.
And then you feel bad for the lies. So don't sign a freaking contract.
Right.
In the first 3 weeks of January.
And and I think businesses know that people are more vulnerable during that time. Psychology. So that's usually when people are going to do that. So they get the money, or they get the money, you know, on a monthly basis, and meanwhile you're not going because you don't feel comfortable there. I've been going to the same gym for 10 years. So I'm afraid to go anywhere else.
Good for you. That's great.
But it's really small, and at this point, everybody there knows me, so I can go in, I can lift, I can do whatever weird stuff I'm going to do, and nobody cares.
Yeah.
And that's what I need. I am not there to chit chat or socialize. I have my headphones on for a reason. I have a plan. I want to be in and out of there in an hour, usually, hopefully within an hour. And that's what suits me. I think some people, they like the social aspect of it, so then they may need a larger gym, or they may need to find a friend to go with. So there's a lot of ways to do this with you know, these goals. So like, goals aren't the problem.
No.
Another practice that is really, I think, a good practice for the end of the year. So there are lots of studies that show a daily gratitude practice is really, really helpful. So every day, you know, maybe it's the beginning of the day, the end of the day, writing down things that you are grateful for in that day. I think it was within the last 3 years, I started doing a year gratitude. Just a list of things that I was grateful for in the past year. So rather than sitting down saying, okay, it's January 1st, I have to do this, and this. Those are my resolutions. I try to write down things that I'm grateful for from the year before. And
I like that.
And then with you know, like yogic traditions, you'll find studios like Yoga Happiness that are doing things in the number of 108 things. Yeah. So I've it's like an auspicious, it's like a very, you know, symbolic, important number, but it's nice to kind of do things like that too. So like 1 year, I was just feeling really a little bit more energized. I did over the course of the day. It's at my 108 sun salutations. And that is a practice that I actually really, really like. Modified is good too, or just kind of like doing something like that feels I think good. It's more tangible to do something, that day rather than saying I have to do this every day. So I don't know. I should probably do this one, but I'm not gonna eat any sugar this year. That's not gonna happen.
That would be impossible.
Yeah, I'm not gonna set a resolution.
I like ice cream.
God,
and gummy bears. Not often, but when I do, I eat the whole thing.
In the cup from Lucky's.
The cup
at Lucky's at the
half pint. No. Oh, not gummy bears. No. Yes. Yeah, but what I was talking about is
the ice cream.
I eat the half pint of ice cream in one sitting.
Yeah.
You
open it and it's a serving, right?
My name is Burgundy, and I eat the whole half pint of ice cream when I buy it.
Yeah.
It just, sometimes it lasts till the next day, but
it just happens.
Let's just be honest.
Yeah.
I just eat it.
Yeah.
But that happens like maybe a few times a year.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. That's not a regular occurrence.
And I think one of the other side of that is not putting it in your mind that if you do that, you're a bad person or that your worth has declined. Because once you do that, then you're going to want to do it more often.
Yes.
And it's going to become, I don't know, I think using food as a reward is something that we should try to get away from. Yeah. I think that creates disordered eating. I think that creates unhealthy attitudes about food and fuel, and I can be guilty of it too, but I'm somebody that's very bad at celebrating. Whenever I achieve something, I usually don't know how to celebrate my achievements, and I'm like just on to the next thing. But I would like to, and usually when I ask people, how do you celebrate, 9 times out of 10 people say something food related.
Yeah, a glass of wine.
Yeah, and I think I'd like to get away from that, because then it just creates this.
You could buy yourself a book.
Yeah,
I think journal.
I think things like that are really good. Things that are going to maybe be more fulfilling long term.
Yeah, watch it. Go to the movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could think of a lot of things that you could go. So, quick divergence here. Digression. So, I was reading my Women of the Galaxy book that I got at Barnes & Noble's, which is fantastic for those of you who want to learn more about the women in the Star Wars universe. But one of the, and I have a terrible memory, so one of the actresses who played, I can't think of who she was. Anyway, so one of the actual Star Wars actresses, either a voice actor or in-person thing, she was frustrated because there's not enough Star Wars stuff for women, with women cut and whatever. And so years ago, so I've either forgot or didn't know about it, she created a website called Her Universe. It's all nerd stuff for women.
You just changed
You're
my
welcome.
whole life.
Yeah, so like this is where you've got running gear. So I keep complaining, like, I don't have any Star Wars running gear. She's already solved the problem. You're welcome.
Yeah, haven't we been talking about this in like every podcast?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, like right now I'm wearing all men's clothing from Target.
Yeah.
Because none of this stuff exists in the women's department.
Is that a kid's shirt?
This is actually
the V.
This is actually this is small men's shirt, small man's pants. I'm a small man. Per Target.
But at least you had some pockets out of the
It's
deal.
true. Yes, I do have pockets, which is really nice.
We don't get pockets.
Yeah.
It's
Unfortunately, these are pajama pants. I'm wearing my Walmart pants. You're not from Walmart. I don't shop at Walmart. Just on principle. But yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. More pockets for women. We don't want to carry
the yoga
purse.
pants have those like a slice, like the pocket that goes like this, that just goes straight down your leg. That's brilliant.
I agree.
Butt pockets, I think, that's old. I think we gotta get away from butt pockets.
I like side pockets.
Yeah. It's like a holster.
I like that at the gym because I like to listen to music while I work out. So I'll have my cell phone.
That's where the phone goes.
I have like 2 pairs like that. I want them all to have that. So phone goes there, headphones in, and then I can move and I can walk around.
And like when you go to the bathroom, it doesn't pour your phone into the fucking toilet. Excuse me, I didn't mean to say that. But yeah, anyway. Okay, so where were we? I digress.
So the idea of resolutions and goals are not the problem.
No.
Oh, yeah, so talking about fasting, that's another thing that will come up too. Detoxes, cleanses, fasting type diets. It's a really good way to lose muscle tissue.
Yeah.
It's a really good way to disrupt your body's homeostasis in general,
if
your blood sugar, your sodium.
Yeah, if you're not used to a fasting kind of thing, like there are some cultures that fasting is built into, and I don't just mean like Ramadan, but I mean like there are some cultures where fasting is built into your life. Like Sundays you fast, and fast. That I mean, ask somebody that got fasting as part of their culture. Truly, what are the rules around your fasting? Because there was a gal that I worked with, an Indian gal, who part of her culture, she'd like I don't remember, but it was like the third Sunday of every other month or something like that. And yet she's sitting there eating potato chips, and she said, but they were baked. She said that part of the fast was you can't eat any fried food, and I'm like, I like your fasting.
I fasted all week then.
Then, however, so it was like no juice, but you could have water, or no solid foods, but you could have juice. So, anyway,
I think
again, moderation and be smart.
We were talking yesterday about in Ayurveda there are good foods and bad foods, but in Ayurveda it's really interesting because the bad foods are things that are spoiled or rotten or that taste really bad.
These ancient people were really smart. Like, they understood humans thousands of years ago.
Right.
Because we've been around for a long time. We're not, we don't have all the answers just because we're from 2018. Like, these have been around for a while.
Right. So it was really interesting to put the categories into good and bad, and the bad category was like drugs and alcohol, like things that have been canned for too long, things that are actually rotten or overcooked or undercooked, things like that.
Because when you overcook, you're cooking out all the nutrients.
Yeah, and then the foods that are good are things that are fresher, they have more nutrients, so they're more nutrient-dense foods, so it doesn't have to be so complicated. And then I think we've really complicated it even more with every few years there's a new diet that's like the diet that you have to be on. It's like the perfect way to eat, and then like 5 years later we find out people are having like heart attacks because of that diet. So when you find that you're eliminating entire food groups for reasons other than allergies or things like that, I think that's when things get a little bit dicey as well, because I don't think you're setting yourself up for success in that way either.
I limit myself on sugars.
I try, but
meaning like, I'm not going to have a donut. I could eat a donut every day if I really could.
Yeah.
But, so refined sugars, things like that, I have fruits. I eat.
Yeah.
But here's the thing though. I mean, the challenge is that, and I think because we are yoga teachers and we're athletes and all of these things, I think that we're more in tune with our bodies.
That happens.
That's the challenge. Like, I know when I haven't had enough water because I'm tired, like I'm fatigued.
Can almost feel it in your head a little bit.
Yes, I can feel it like when I've had too much coffee, I haven't had enough water, I haven't had enough good foods, when I haven't had enough vegetables. There are plenty of days where I'm like, oh shit, I didn't have any vegetables.
Yeah, me too.
I didn't have any meat, but I didn't have any vegetables.
I know, that's a problem. And that's, I think that's something that comes up. I was talking to my husband about this because we were kind of talking about, because I've just been thinking about this with the holidays coming up, diets and things like that. And we were kind of like, because we're both vegetarians and we have been for a really long time. And we were just kind of talking about the idea of actually like completely eliminating sugar. And if you're diabetic, I think even if you're diabetic, you can have a little bit of sugar. You should have sugar. But the idea of eliminating something like that, even at the cost of happiness, I think is where this idea of Mitahara comes back in. That idea of moderate food and things that might just make you happy. So
Yeah.
if it's, you know, back to the idea of the holidays, maybe you shouldn't have chocolate cake all the time, but maybe, you know, your aunt makes the best chocolate cake ever, and
Yeah.
it makes you feel like this is Christmas, this is whatever
Right.
holiday. There's no reason to deprive that. But then
Right.
the other point I was going to make was that I was thinking too, and I was explaining this to my husband, is because he was saying, oh, you're going to start to have people asking you how much weight they can lose doing yoga, which if you're a yoga teacher, you're probably going to hear that in January.
Oh,
like
yeah.
that, especially teaching yoga. If you teach
How many
yoga,
calories does this burn?
yeah, especially if you teach yoga at a gym, which I've taught at gyms. People that are new to yoga and they're trying to use it as a way to lose weight will ask how many calories you burn in an hour, or they'll have their Fitbit on with the heart rate monitor to try to figure out like how many calories they're burning in yoga. My thought with that is, if somebody does lose weight doing yoga, I really think it comes down to mindfulness.
Yeah, I think it's probably the whole lifestyle change.
Yeah.
Because you move, you feel good. Like that's what happened with my running too.
Yeah.
Is I learned the foods not to eat before I run, meaning like the day before, because it didn't fuel me well enough. I didn't
Right.
run well. I felt terrible. I was bloated. I had to go to the bathroom in the middle.
Right.
Like urgent, if you know what I mean.
Or even just that idea of eating when hungry and stopping before you're
Yeah.
completely stuffed. But the more mindfulness you build, and the more you become aware of all of those little things, like we were just talking about, like we kind of feel when we haven't had enough water, or
Yeah.
you need to eat better. The more that happens, the less you are likely to just eat to be eating, or
Right.
eat foods that make you feel really bad. Like when I was in my 20s, I was like, it's like a garbage can
Yes.
for food. I just ate foods that made me feel terrible, and I had acid reflux, and I had indigestion almost all the time, and I was always trying to find other medications, other things that I could
It's this
do.
cycle.
And I never thought to change my diet until I was probably like
Yeah.
almost 30. And by the time I really started ramping up my yoga practice is when I did. And I had some allergy testing done. I found out like I shouldn't be eating wheat. Like I'm allergic to wheat, and that's pretty much all I was eating was foods that I was allergic to, foods that were, you know, some of these, you know, in Ayurvedic, the tamasic foods, these bad foods were like all I was eating.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have that awareness or really care. So that shift changed how I ate. And I'm going to go off on another tangent, down another path. When you do these things, and we're talking about family and friends and, you know, holidays, sometimes people don't like it. Sometimes there's a pushback. If you're a vegetarian, if you start eating healthier, if you make changes, you don't want to go out to the bar every night, things like that, there will be people that will push back.
Because it makes them feel bad.
Because
about
it makes
themselves.
them feel bad, and they don't, yeah, exactly, that's exactly it.
And that's not my problem.
Right.
Sorry. My desire to be healthy and to feel good is not, the fact that bothers you, not my problem.
Right. And
I might bring a vegetarian plate to the meal because
Yeah.
maybe they don't know how to cook vegetarian.
Have you ever had people not want to eat it because it's vegetarian?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
What if I told you that this hummus wasn't vegetarian?
Like, where would I fit meat in this?
Right.
Or I've had people ask, like, this isn't gluten-free, is it? Like,
It never
cares
was.
if
It's always been gluten free.
yeah, so they associate,
Yeah.
so some people, they'll take that, like, guilt they feel, and which is a problem as well, the feeling guilty about that, and they'll project it onto you, and I've had that happen too. Somebody doesn't want to eat the vegetarian dish or the gluten-free dish, or they're like, oh, it's gluten-free and vegetarian, what's even in it? That sounds really gross. And it's like, you probably had gluten-free vegetarian food at least once yesterday, and you didn't say anything about it.
Yeah.
Did you have anything with potatoes in it? 'Cause
Yeah, French fries.
I was just gonna say-
gluten free and vegetarian.
yeah, I was just gonna say
Depending on
that.
oil.
So yeah, so it's I don't know. It's not about, it's, I guess, just taking that mindfulness. It's not about you, and that's a hard thing to grapple with at the holidays too. If we're going back to that as well, is that when you make some of these changes, sometimes there will be people that are not happy about it, and they might try to give you some negative feedback about it. But then those can also be the people that are going to be on a new detox diet or a cleanse or something like that.
Yeah.
So we were talking about the idea of sympathetic magic, and it's something that we all fall victim to just as humans. So sympathetic magic is the idea that something like, I was talking before about the Himalayan sea salt detoxes. So drinking salt water will detox you. Don't drink salt water. Yeah, there's that woman that drank all that soy sauce, and I think she's still in a coma if she's still alive. So I think it's the thought that something that sounds like it shouldn't work, doesn't make any sense,
probably won't,
isn't a good idea, might work for you because maybe this will be different. That's sympathetic magic. We want the easier thing. We want the quick thing. We want to do a 5-day detox rather than make sustainable lifestyle changes. And we all do. Yeah. If somebody was like, if you just drank sea salt water for 5 days and you won't have to eat any vegetables, I would probably be like, if that's true, maybe I'll try it.
Yeah. But again, that also sounds terrible. Like,
yeah.
That's
I'm not going to do that. I think that sounds like a really bad idea. But if for some reason that were true, I'd probably be like, maybe I'll try it.
Yeah.
But then by the end, I'd probably really want vegetables because I wasn't supposed to be eating vegetables.
Right. Yes. Yeah, of course, yes.
All I want is a carrot.
Right. All right. Well, I think that's our time on this one. Yeah. Do we have more to talk about? We'll have another video. Okay.
We're all made of chemicals, and chemicals are in everything, so.
Yeah, so trying to avoid chemicals is impossible.
Yeah.
Okay. Happy New Year. Happy holidays. And we'll see you next year. Yay. Hi, everyone. I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, please click like or subscribe. It makes a difference on the internet. And I want to give a special thanks to our Patreon patrons who are helping to support these videos. Also, those of you who are watching through Patreon, thank you so much. If you are interested in becoming a Patreon patron, go to the website, check out the different tiers and reward things and whatnot. We've got a lot of cool stuff coming up right now as of the end of December, beginning of January. $5 per month gets you the free streaming of my Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 6 a.m. class. If you can't watch it live, then you can watch it recorded. And starting I think I've been lying and I've been saying that it's the 16th of January, but the Learner Series is starting the second Wednesday in January at 7:30. And the second Wednesday is actually January 9th. I think I've been saying the 16th. But anyway, patrons who are supporting at the $20 per month level and higher will get free streaming of the Learner Series. And I used to do this years ago. I make it sound like it was a long time ago, a couple years ago. I love the Learner Series. We're going to be talking about mindfulness. We're going to practice mindful eating, breathing, walking, different things like that. 6-week series. And coming up very soon, we'll have merchandise, t-shirts and so forth. And those supporting at a $10 level and higher will get like a t-shirt or a mug or something. Still trying to figure that out, but that's coming very soon. But more importantly, in our videos, Lauren and I are talking about things that are really challenging during the holidays, and the holidays are really hard for many people. Speaking personally for myself, especially now, I mean, this is the second Christmas, second New Year's that I've spent without my mom, and this year is harder than last. Being around family is really challenging for me because it kind of points out the one that I'm missing. And with the eating and the, all sorts of things and the drinks and so forth, if this is challenging for you, please, here's the suicide hotline. Mental health, we need to talk about it out loud. I can't tell you how many people, probably if I sat and counted, that have gone from my life due to suicide. Okay? Suicide hotline. Eating disorders. That's hard. Whether you eat too much, whether you eat not enough, it's hard. Especially when this stuff's in your face all the time and you've got this added guilt, various other things, feelings of obligation. Hey, you know what? Seek help. And then here's a number for just sort of general substance abuse and mental health hotline. ask for help, okay? None of us is in this life on our own. We couldn't do anything on our own. And it takes a very strong and brave person to ask for help. And I know you're strong and I know you're brave. So have a happy new year. I hope to see you in class. And if you are not local and if you can't make it to class, I'd love to hear your comments and thoughts. Please share, okay? So, see you next time. Bye, everyone.